The lights go out, and that familiar dread starts to creep in. Your chest gets a little tight, and suddenly you're aware of every single creak and groan of the house. There's this voice in your head that says you should be over this by now, right? That being scared of the dark is for kids. But what if I told you that a fear of the dark is something countless adults deal with? You're not being childish, and you are definitely not alone. The fear is real, but the good news is, so are the solutions. The official name for it is nyctophobia. It's more than just not liking the dark. It's an intense fear that can set off real physical and emotional responses. A racing heart, sweating, feeling short of breath, and a huge wave of anxiety. For adults, this usually isn't about monsters under the bed. It's a fear of the unknown, a deep feeling of vulnerability that hits when our main sense, our sight, is suddenly gone.
Oh.
This fear has deep ancient roots. Back in the day, darkness was genuinely dangerous for our ancestors. It was when predators were out, so a healthy fear of the dark was a survival tool. That wiring is still in our brains. But now, when the biggest danger in your bedroom is probably tripping over a shoe, that primal fear can feel out of place and honestly a little embarrassing. It can steal your sleep, fill your nights with anxiety, and make you feel like a stranger in your own home. But you don't have to live like that. You absolutely have the power to take back your nights. In this video, I'm going to share 5 simple, proven techniques that can help anyone at any age make peace with the darkness and finally get the sleep you deserve. These aren't magic tricks. They're practical, psychology-backed tools that will help you retrain your brain and calm your nerves. So let's get into it. Tip 1. Make friends with the dark through gradual exposure. Alright, the first and most powerful technique is the one that sounds the scariest. But I promise, it's all about baby steps. It's called gradual exposure, and it's the most proven method for getting over almost any phobia. The idea is simple. To make something less scary, you have to face it in small, manageable doses until your brain finally gets the memo that it's not a threat. You wouldn't get over a fear of heights by jumping out of a plane, right? You'd start on a low balcony, then maybe a second-story window, building up your confidence. We're going to do the exact same thing with the dark. You're gently and on your own terms, teaching your brain that dark doesn't automatically equal danger. So how do you actually do it? You start small, like really small. If you sleep with a big lamp on now, don't just throw yourself into a pitch black room tonight. Instead, for the next few nights, just try switching to a dimmer lamp. If you sleep with the hall light on, try closing your bedroom door just a little bit more each night. The whole point is to find the edge of your comfort zone and just give it a tiny nudge. For an adult, this could be as simple as finding a comfy chair in your living room in the evening. Instead of flipping on all the lights, just use one soft lamp. Sit there for 5 or 10 minutes, listen to some music or a podcast. Just be in the dim light. The next night, try for 15 minutes. Maybe next week you turn that lamp off and just sit with the light coming in from the street. For kids, you can make this a game. Flashlight treasure hunt in a dimly lit room is a great place to start. Shadow puppets are a classic for a reason. They turn a dark wall into a place for creativity. You could even have a glastic dance party in the hallway. These things build new, happy memories connected to the dark, slowly replacing the old, scary ones. The key for everyone is that you are in control. You're choosing to do this, which changes the feeling from, this is happening to me, to, I am handling this. Be patient with yourself. This takes time. Tip to build a safe haven with routines and comfort items. Fear loves chaos and unpredictability. The dark feels scary because we can't see what's familiar, and that makes us feel unprepared. The way to fight this is to build a powerful sense of safety and control before you even turn the lights out. And you do that by creating a solid, relaxing bedtime routine. A consistent routine is like a heads up for your brain that says, hey, we're safe. Everything is predictable. We're getting ready to rest. This isn't just about brushing your teeth. It's about creating a 30-minute buffer zone between the stress of your day and the quiet of the night. You could read a real book, listen to calm music, do some light stretches, or write in a journal. Whatever you pick, doing it consistently is what matters. A routine tells your anxious mind that there are no surprises coming, just a familiar road to sleep. Part of this routine can be bringing in comfort objects. For kids, this one's a no-brainer. A favorite stuffed animal or a special blanket gives them a physical anchor of security that stays with them after the parents leave. It helps them feel less alone, but let's be real, this works for adults too. Maybe it's not a teddy bear, but it could be a weighted blanket, which science has shown can calm the nervous system. It could be a specific pillow you love, or a calming scent like lavender from a diffuser. The object itself isn't the point, the feeling of safety it gives you is. You're basically building your own personal safety kit for the nighttime. Your bed should feel like a sanctuary, a place you connect with peace, not fear. When you surround yourself with these layers of comfort, you're turning your bedroom from a scary place into your personal fortress of calm. Tip 3. Lean on your other senses. Our fear of the dark is almost entirely about not being able to see. When our eyes can't give us info, our brain sometimes hits the panic button and fills in the gaps with the worst possible stories. The cool thing about this next tip is that it works around the problem. If you can't use your sight, then you're going to get better at using your other senses. This helps you build a new kind of confidence, one that doesn't depend on light. Here's an exercise that's surprisingly effective. Try navigating a safe space, like your living room, blindfolded for a few minutes during the day. Go slow. Notice how your other senses instantly get sharper. You'll pay more attention to the feeling of the floor under your feet, the sound of the clock on the wall, the faint smell of coffee still in the air. This does two things. It makes the physical feeling of being in the dark more familiar, and it proves to your brain that you are not helpless without your eyes. Next up is your hearing. A lot of the time, it's not the silence that's scary. It's the sudden weird noises that break it. A creak from the floorboards, a pop from the pipes. During the day, you wouldn't think twice. At night, that sound can become anything your imagination wants it to be. The solution? Control your audio environment. A white noise machine, a simple fan, or an app that plays calming sounds like rain or ocean waves can be a game changer. It doesn't just muffle startling noises. It creates a soothing blanket of sound. Your brain learns to focus on that constant calming noise, so it's much less likely to get shocked into high alert by a random bump in the night. By actively using your other senses, you're shifting your focus. You're no longer just lying there waiting for something scary to happen. You're creating a rich, calming, and controlled world for yourself, placing the fear of the unknown with the comfort of the familiar. Tip 4. Take control of your thoughts so far. We've talked about changing your surroundings and your habits. This next tip is about changing your thoughts. When you're lying in the dark, your body might be perfectly safe, but your mind can turn into a full-blown horror movie director. It comes up with images and what-if scenarios that just pour fuel on the fire. You can learn to fire that director. Let's start with your body, because that's often easier to control first. When you feel fear, your body tenses up, your breathing gets shallow, and your heart starts racing. You can consciously stop this cycle with deep breathing. One of the easiest methods is the 4-7-8 technique. You breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, you hold it for 7 seconds, and you breathe out slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Do this 3 or 4 times. It's like a natural tranquilizer for your nervous system and pulls you out of that fight or flight mode. Once your body is a bit calmer, you can start dealing with the scary thoughts. This is a technique inspired by cognitive behavioral therapy, which works wonders for phobias. When a scary thought pops into your head like, "What was that noise? Is someone in the house?" Don't just let it spiral. Gently challenge it. Pretend you're a calm, rational detective. Ask yourself, what's the evidence for that? Has anyone ever broken in before? What's a more likely reason for that noise? Maybe it was the house settling or the wind. When you question the thought, instead of just accepting it, you take away its power. You can also come up with a coping phrase ahead of time, something simple and strong like, "It's dark, but I am safe," or "I am in my room, and I am in control." When you feel the fear start to rise, repeat this to yourself, like a mantra. It's an anchor that pulls you back to rational, calm thinking. This isn't about ignoring your fear, but about meeting it with mindfulness and common sense. Over time, you teach your brain that it doesn't have to believe every scary story it tells itself. Tip 5. Use light to your advantage. This last tip might sound a little backward. If we're trying to stop being afraid of the dark, why are we talking about using light? Because the goal isn't to become a superhero who's afraid of nothing. The goal is to feel safe and comfortable in your own home. For a lot of people, going from full light to pitch black is just too much, too soon. Using light strategically is the bridge that gets you there. First off, let's talk about night lights. There is zero shame in using one, whether you're 8 or 80. Sometimes, just a little bit of light is all it takes to keep the panic away so you can actually sleep. But the kind of light you use really matters. Bright blue-toned lights like the ones from our phones and many cheap LED night lights can mess with your body's ability to produce melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy. The best choice is a dim, warm-colored nightlight, one with a red or amber glow. This gives you enough light to see your surroundings without wrecking your sleep cycle. The second part of this is slowly weaning yourself off it. Once you're comfortable sleeping with a dim nightlight, you can start to gradually reduce how much you rely on it. This should be slow, over weeks or even months. You could move the nightlight further away from your bed. If it's across the room, you could try plugging it into the hallway and leaving your bedroom door cracked open. After a while, you might close the door, so only a tiny sliver of light comes in. You just keep going until you reach a level you're comfortable with which might be total darkness, or it might not be. The destination is feeling safe, not hitting some imaginary benchmark for bravery. Think of light as a tool. First, you use it to build a sense of safety. Then, as you get more confident from the other techniques, you can gently reduce your need for it. You're always in the driver's seat. Getting over a fear of the dark isn't like flipping a switch. It's a journey of retraining your brain and taking back your sense of safety. It's about understanding that this fear is a normal leftover instinct, and that you have all the tools you need to handle it. By taking small steps, building a comforting routine, using all of your senses, managing your thoughts, and using light as a tool, you can completely change your relationship with nighttime. The goal isn't to get rid of the dark. The goal is to see it differently, not as a threat, but as a quiet, peaceful time for rest, restoration, and dreams. You have the power to make your nights calm again. If this was helpful, please consider subscribing for more tips on mastering your mindset. And now, I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these tips are you thinking of trying first? Let me know in the comments below. Reading through the comments can be a huge help. And your story might be exactly what someone else needs to feel a little less alone in the dark.